Oh. So I've been personalizing and customizing the program to so that it benefit you the most, provided you are a seeker and you follow this program, you listen and learn, and you listen it again and again, contemplate and reflect. So that is going to bring about a change in our life, in our behavior, in our attitude, and we will be in peace and happiness. So the first step, obviously, that there should be a curiosity. I will be repeating it again and again. So there should be an interest to know who am I. But who wants to know who am I? Who has a doubt? Who am I? If I don't have any doubt, well, eat, drink, and be merry and have everything. That's what it is. You are bad and I'm good. So if you have that notion, then the curiosity is not there. So no inquiry is possible. Am I right? Say yes. So there is no inquiry possible. Second step is that what should be where we should move our life and how should we focus on the objective and the goal. Goal is the who am I, what is the world, what is the existence, and what for what motivation. Motivation is to bring an end to the suffering and awaken to peace and happiness. So, but before we go further, the next step is that we should be very clear about what is real, what is false, and what is unreal. If we are not clear, the Eastern wisdom follows these three factors. Science follows only two factors, real or unreal. To prove it is wrong, finished, we stop it. So, but we have the three factors. If we do not understand these three factors, then the inquiry into the real self is not possible. The next step is that while we are doing the inquiry, how to live our personal, professional, social, and family life. So there are many conventional methods to keep purifying the mind while living your personal, professional, social life. And if that does not happen, then what will happen? We will attend the session, 1 hour is good enough. I'm fully busy. How to remove from the mind why you are fully busy? That is, they are the conventional methods. It does not mean that you stop working. You keep on working, but there is a change in the mind. Response to the word in the mind must change. If they do not change, nothing will happen. After that, begins that we should become a seeker. We are already becoming a seeker, but in that process, we have four factors. We know the power of discernment in the intellect. The intellect must awaken the power of discernment and dispassion. If we do not awaken, the calmness and the peace will never enter into our life. It will enter for a few minutes or few hours, and after that, it will go. Then comes the self-inquiry. How to do the self-inquiry by listening and learning, contemplation, reflection, followed by the practice. So what happens? I recognize who am I. What do I recognize? I am the real self. I'm the pure consciousness of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. That is what happened to Buddha, Jesus. And do you see in a social life what Jesus replied when he was crucified? They do not know what they are doing. If Someone wants to come and kill me. I said, get rid of it. I will kill you. But what Jesus said. So the response is totally different. It comes from the mind. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. Take one example. We say, I'm an individual. What do you mean by an individual? Individual means, literally it means a unit. Unit means it is made up of parts. Oh, it is made up of parts. So an individual means body, breath, mind, intellect are collected together by an I thought is an individual. An individual has a personality. Personality means persona, a mask. So that personality, which expresses in the form of a thought, speech, and action, is a mask. So it means I'm not an individual. There is something behind that individual that is I am. What is that I am? I am is the real self. It is the pure consciousness. That is the discovery. We have to take into account the entire life, personal, professional, social, family, body, breath, mind, intellect. So we see through the eyes of what is real. So it is a systematic study. It is step-by-step understanding. It is step-by-step reflection so that we can drop what is false, what is unreal. In me, what is left is the real. And our masters have dwelled deeply again and again, not by one master, but by more than 3,000 masters. They contemplated and reflected on the same principle to validate, to testify. We can ask any question in the middle, and then we are happy or we are unhappy with the question. We keep the doubt on. Can I say, Sophie, you have asked me a question. Let us talk, that is the question coming in the middle. Or should I leave it? I can take it? Yes. So she said that I read the gurus in India dispense their teachings for free. Is that true, or does it make a difference in the learning process? And if so, what difference? So that question comes in the very middle of the journey. But let us understand that. So first thing and first answer is does the gurus in India dispense their teaching for free? Yes, it is free. Why it is free? Because it is priceless. You cannot afford it. That is one simple answer. Does that satisfy you? Are you a seeker? If you are a seeker, yes, you have that free. But as a seeker, you have a duty and responsibility. So when you are a seeker, you have an intent of non-possessiveness. Let us go deeply into this question. What it means by free education of the Eastern wisdom. No one can afford this teaching. Why? It takes over a length of time. Why? What it means? You start the journey and later you find the repressed material in the mind that takes long time to remove. It demands a constant interaction with the teacher so that you can remove the ignorance. Second part is the teacher never takes the pride in teaching or passing on the wisdom, but takes pride if the seeker evolves. These are the different answers why the teaching is free. Teacher takes care of the seeker in all the personal, professional, social, and the family life through the knowledge that the teacher installs in the mind of a seeker. Now that is okay. But from where the teacher gets the finances of, if you are awakened, does not mean that you stop eating food. From where you get the finances? But before that, let me take up this question. A seeker understands that he uses his wealth and the possessions to purify his mind. I never took up that concept. You uses all your resources to act in life, to purify the mind, to become a seeker, to realize the real self. I will take up that in a detail later, but now come back to the same question. So how the teacher meets the finances of a monastery? I would say that you will be amazed and surprised. There are more than 500 monasteries, or you can say something about 50 or 100 monasteries that is spread over different parts of India. They feed more than 20 million people free 3 meals a day. I will give you the references of those monasteries. You go there, and some of those monasteries you can stay freely. And if you are a seeker, what a great thing. If you are a seeker, whatever you learn, you start teaching others. That is the reward. That is what they expect from you. 3 meals a day, more than 20 million people. In one monastery, they feed 100,000 people every day, 3 meals. You are saying that they dispense the teaching free? And going together. My master, every year, he used to feed and support more than 300 seekers throughout the year. That cost you minimum $1 million a year. You are saying free? So what is the concept behind it? The concept behind it that you are offering something in the form of a knowledge, in the form of a wealth, you are offering to the monastery with a thought in the mind that it has come from the existence and you are offering it to the existence. That purifies the mind. Did you understand? I did not earn even a single penny at the time of the birth. I did not have any money. So now that money came from the existence, that knowledge, professional skills came from the word. And out of the love and the compassion, I'm offering the same to the existence in one of the monastery, to a particular teacher, so that in return, I am able to purify my mind. I am not offering anything for my selfish nature. I don't negotiate. I'm not selfish. Are you getting it? So do you have that intent? Ask yourself. Go little, the master says that uh, we normally negotiate, I lead a professional life, so people negotiate with me. Why you negotiate in this journey of Eastern wisdom? For the sake of the money? Where your money is spent? Your money is spent for the sake of pleasure. Do you recognize that can you save something and drop the pleasure seeking mind and you offer to this tradition? Do you have that will? Do you have that wisdom? Do you have that knowledge? Do you have that clarity? Instead of taking 5 beers every day, you take only 1 beer, and whatever the expenses that you bear on the 4 beers you offer to this. That intention is required. If we don't have that intention, then the mind never changes. Are you getting it? Then the mind never changes. Because mind keeps on seeking the pleasure from the world. We have proved, we have understood that the pleasure is not present in the world. So there are hundreds of people. This teaching was given to those people. In lieu of that, they offer the money to the monastery and the teachers. That is why the teaching of the Eastern wisdom is free. How many people are here? How that statement can be true here? Tell me. Tell me. We have to understand that. At the same time, I should also agree that there are some fake monasteries. There are some fake teachers. They manipulate, they use this teaching in order to grab the money. I have no reservation to accept this. There are. Everything is possible. There's a fake science, so there. The teaching is this. They do not refer the teaching from the text, from the tradition. You see, I always say that, I teach, I don't tell you the name of the text. In future, I'll tell you the name of the text also, that I teach from there. There is no issue. I stick to the teaching by the masters. That is very important. Now, see one example. I volunteer a group for the Ukrainians. So in American language, we know volunteer as if I'm doing something special. No, I'm not doing something special. I follow the tradition. As long as I can meet my basic needs, I have to spare something to offer. So they cannot afford it. So I'm volunteering this group. So one girl in that group, she translates English to Ukrainian and Ukrainian to English to that group. She recently joined about 5 or 6 months ago. She's so committed. She started learning. So when she started learning, I said, you can join my Mondays and Thursday group free, totally free. Am I bragging? No. That is my duty and responsibility in the Eastern wisdom. I have to do it. Why? So that I keep on checking that my mind is purified. So now she is doing free, she volunteer a session. She is always present 5 minutes before for helping the other group, for helping the group. She feels that sense of responsibility. That is how You start from the money, and that is how it brings about a change in your attitude. That is very much required. That is how the spirituality works in another dimension. And then what happens? Because of her intent, because of her commitment to that group, she joins, it means 5 classes a week. I never ask any penny from her, and I will never ask. This is how the tradition continues. I can tell you one more aspect, one more incident, and no, so I don't want to name that person who is very close to the past president of USA, and I used to go to him to teach. He had an extreme anxiety and depression. He has written more than 10, 15 books. He used to live in New Jersey. Now he's no more. You see what happens, how we understand the mind of a person. My master used to say, you live with that person for a couple of weeks and months, and you will come to know about the mind and behavior and personality of that person. So after 6 months, he said that, can we extend the lesson from 1 hour to 1 and 90 minutes? So he was paying me X amount of money. He said, I will pay you another 60% more. I didn't say anything. When you are not negotiating, I will agree with that. 1 year has passed. He said that if I take your 10 minutes extra, I will pay you for 10 minutes. How many people have that attitude? It's not that I'm getting something. It's I'm respecting his intention. So what happens? What used to happen? He used to communicate, and his session extended for another 15 minutes, and he used to pay me for 15 minutes more. Do I have that intention? From where that intention comes? Can I use this money for my evolution or for my pleasure? That makes a tremendous difference in the life of our. But when you go and buy a car, don't you negotiate? I negotiate. I'm a very bad and hard negotiator for buying a car, and knows it. How I negotiate, I find even if I have to lease the car, I go, I find out all the details from the Google. The people asked me that you have to pay $600 per month for a lease. I negotiated for a $320 per month for a lease. So our master never says that don't live your personal, professional, social, and family life. But what is that intention? What are the possessions and the gadgets and the wealth that you have? How much percentage you are using not for the sake of a pleasure, which is false? How much percentage of that resources you are using? I have a knowledge, so I use it. That's why I volunteer. It's not a big deal for me. It's a play. What difference it makes if I give another session totally free? Don't expect anything. So when I don't expect anything, my mind remains clear. That helps you to purify them. So we'll talk about that. There are 5 or 6 conventional methods. One of them is known as, in American term, it is known as the charity. You can do the charity of your knowledge, the wealth, possessions, anything, but with an intention that it has come from the existence and it is going to the existence. You don't have any sympathy for those people who cannot afford. If you have a sympathy for those people, you claim that you are giving out of the sympathy, then you are creating another problem in your mind. In future, your mind will say that people are not sympathetic to me. It's 100% logical, clear understanding. When I met my master in 1980 and 81, could you believe that I offered only 5 cents, equivalent to a meth? I didn't have the money. But I offered with the same attitude. Perhaps he recognized that. People were offering a lot of money for that monastery. So during that learning process, I realized now I possess that wealth, I have to spare it for others to join so that the journey of this monastery will continue. The center of that knowledge will continue. You are connected all the time. So that is why it is free. That is why the teaching is free. You dispense the teaching is free. Should I carry forward the tradition? When you learn for so many years with a master, you witness, you see them practically. That 80% of the wealth that goes to that ashram, that monastery, is given to the people. So the people offer more because of that intention and attitude. And in that process, the mind is purified. What is that purification? Because the mind is constantly working, wandering, agitated. That why I am not getting happiness? Because I keep my wrong intention clear that this wealth, this possession, this thing will be used for pleasure seeking in the world where it is not. So let me save that. Couple of times I gave an example of 5 beers. Only take 1 beer. Save the money for the 4 beers and then see that how it can be spent. I will spend for the sake of the existence, not for the sake of meeting my pleasure. That opens up your mind, that absorbs your mind into a level of higher awareness. That is the significance of whether charity by wealth, charity by knowledge, charity by lot of other stuff is there. So what is that principle? What do you contribute? How do you connect to the existence? How do you contribute? And then you celebrate your life. Whether it is by the money, whether it is by the knowledge, whether it is by the physical service, whether an act of kindness. You want to feel that sense? Go to Taos. Do you know where the Taos is? They have started. That one Indian group has started a monastery that is in Taos, New Mexico. They named it as a temple. So once you go there, you are totally a stranger. You go there, you sit, and you reach there. They will request you, please don't go without taking a meal, without taking a food. You are a stranger, they love you. You can experience that feeling. I recently went there. I heard that and I said, no, let me go there and see whether that tradition continues or not. I went there just to understand whether it is possible or not. It is possible. Whether you offer any, even a single penny or not, they never ask you. They give you the food, they ask you to sit down, they and the best food they prepare. That intention is required in this journey. So the masters have found out that every social, professional, and personal activities can be converted into a spiritual activity. Outside, we are like all other people, but internally, you bring about that change. Let us start our practice. Eyes are closed. You have every right to ask me any question, whether you agree or you don't agree. But ask me. I will talk about that tradition. And the knowledge. Eyes are closed. Body is comfortable. Body is comfortable means what? You know that wandering mind has one intention. If the mind is wandering, distracted, that is only one reason. It is a pleasure seeking mind. It is a pain escaping mind without understanding the wrong notion. Without understanding, it is filled with the wrong notion. Like our friend who says, fire station is the problem. So we are comfortable. So we move little deeper into being comfortable. Look at the neck joint, be there. Feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Look deeper inside the experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. It is the space and nothingness and blankness. Move the mind on the shoulder joints, be there, feel sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And after that, you experience the space inside. Understand, that is what I discussed also, that even if I say you being comfortable and being carefree and being casual are the common steps that I have started from the first session until now. So I add a knowledge part into it. If you are a little bit more aware, you can get it. What is more aware? Let us understand. Look at the shoulder joint, and then I say, look, experience, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. This is a subtle awareness. Physical awareness of shoulder joints, to a subtle awareness of sensation, comfort, and steadiness, to a subtler awareness of awareness of the blankness and emptiness. What it means, in every journey, the journey of the Eastern wisdom is a rise in awareness, not fall in awareness. How you rise in awareness? By making the mind subtle and subtler. How you make the mind subtle and subtler? Moving from the physical to subtle physical, to mental experience, to beyond the mental experience. I believe you have understood when I say, look at the entire body, be there, feel. What do you feel? Now you feel the subtle sensation, comfort, and steadiness is subtler than the shoulder joint. It is physical. And then where you move, You move to the space. What is that space? It is only an emptiness. So now you move to the subtler mind that raises your awareness. That is what needs to be understood. If you take it mechanically and then it does not bring about a change. So when you are comfortable, then mind is still wandering. So now see, what is that understanding that I infused to you all? I said highway, 3 lanes, mental highway, 3 lanes, the lane number one. It makes your understanding clear. It removes the doubt. So lane number one, unwanted, unwelcome thoughts and feelings. So what you do, you move to the lane number two. What is that lane number two? It is the intellect. What the intellect does to the lane number one, it is aware. The thoughts are coming, noise is coming or not coming. So the moment you are in the lane number two, that mind starts looking at the lane number three, that is calmness and peace. Oh, without doing anything, I can be in calm and peace. Yes. One thing to reach to that understanding and to realize by experience takes time. Someday you are there. Other day, you have already shared your experience. Your sharing tells me, your feedback tells me. And that is how I personalize the next session. You are carefree. And where I started, I said, carefree thought comes and goes. Then I explained you the deeper aspect. Carefree means free from the cares. Then who cares me? My mind. How it cares? By the thoughts. And then I came to the simile or the metaphor of 3 lanes of a mental highway. And as you progress, I will add another aspect. But at the outer level, it will remain as being comfortable and being carefree. Why? So that your mind easily picks up the entire journey. You see, that is the way to transmit the knowledge. We do our best. So now the mantra. Then I said what the third step is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. So first is the recitation in the mind. It has nothing to do with religion and card. Recitation. Second step is the meaning. Third step is the knowledge. Again, you see that we infuse the understanding. It is very important in the Eastern wisdom that you keep your mind focused on what is the knowledge in it. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let everyone be happy. That is the meaning. What is the knowledge? I'm seeking happiness for everyone. Why I'm seeking happiness? Everyone is seeking happiness. Every living species. But how even the mosquito knows mosquito is seeking happiness? Because they are created by this one existence. So the existence is of the nature of peace and happiness. It means my real nature is peace and happiness. That is why we have to discover that. Do you see that everything is connected? Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. Let everyone be in the state of well-being. Everyone is seeking. That is the knowledge. Tell me any living species seeking pain. But they are seeking happiness wrongly, so they get pain. And that is our state of affairs. And that is the journey. So you are saying, oh, honey, I married you because, I thought that you will continue to love me. Now we have to ask ourselves whether this approach of seeking love is wrong or false. For example, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. And that is the concept of the contribution comes, or the charity so called. Let everyone be blessed. Ma kaschid dukha bhaga bhave. Let none suffer from misery in this world. You think, you contemplate, you reflect first in the mind. Don't say that nothing happens even if I think. Your mind may argue wrongly that nothing happens to the world, even if I think about this. And then you are wrong. Why you are wrong? You are thinking like this in order to change your mind. You have a respect for every species on the earth. And that respect means what? There is no duality and a conflict in our mind. That is the basic goal of this recitation of the mantra. So don't keep your attention focused on the word out. What will happen even if I think of well-being of others? First, you do it every day. Keep in the mind and see what happens. And then this is so we are using the mantra for the purification of the mind. Okay? Purification of the mind, yes. And still it is not purified. We have other tools. We should be a seeker to be ready, to be committed. So look inside, focus inside the forehead, and then start breathing short and the quick breathing from the chest. Keep on, continue, my friends, continue. And stop this. What you do, recognize and accept the changes, the experiences you are having now. It may be the tingling or the numbness or some vision and some colors. It's okay, whatever is happening, just recognize and accept it. So, in that state of acceptance, we again move the mind within. Look at the head and the neck. That is physical. Then what is mental? Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So again, we go a little deeper, looking inside the head and the neck. We experience the calmness and the quietness. Even if you may be receiving the noise and the different forms of sensation and the temperature, but because the mind has moved deeper, means the mind has become subtle. So the subtle mind keeps itself away from the physical vibrations and the physical noises. Move the mind on the right arm. Be there, feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. And then calmness and quietness. What calmness and quietness indicates? That the mind has become subtle, subtler, rise in awareness. Left arm, be there, sensation, relaxation, and stillness, calmness and quietness. The chest and the belly, the middle portion of the body, the mind is aware, first purely at the physical level. Then at the subtle level, you experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Then subtler level, you become aware of the sensation inside and the space within. That is what the calmness and quietness is. Right leg. So again, you see right leg, and then I directly see sensation, relaxation, and stillness, calmness and quietness. Left leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness, calmness and quietness. The entire body, sensation, relaxation, and stillness, then calmness and quietness. From that subtler mind, you are looking at the breath, going in and out, feeling the sensation, no change. And every time the breath goes in, you drop Shanto Hum. When the breath comes out, you drop Shanto. Why you drop Shanto Hum? To hold the mind at that subtler level. But why? To continue to rise in awareness and consciousness, but why? To find the real self. That is the key. So when you see the mind changes the rate and the rhythm of the breath, it is because of the impurity at this moment. So we recognize and we again let the mind go out of the breath, simply aware, and we drop Shantoham. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. And if you have any question, you can ask. How are you, Sophie?
Well, Girish, I think I dozed off and on. My head was falling, and then because my head was falling, it woke me up.
Ah.
Yeah, but I'm very calm, and I didn't. I don't know. Maybe even the dozing off stopped the awareness. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, dozing off obviously is a fall in consciousness. And when we are not dozing off, so we continue to move deeper, and there comes the result is the rise in awareness. But at the same time, we should also understand it is better than the wandering and distracted mind, that we are fairly calm and relaxed. But then we need to work. So if you are doing the practice regularly and work on your mind with the same practice that I have given you today, it helps you ultimately to break that cycle of dozing off. How are you? Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
In in the morning, I usually don't doze off. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, in the morning, if you do practice, yeah. So it has many issues pertaining to the thought in the wandering mind during the day. And that we are working on it. We will come to a topic of what are the impurities and how we purify the mind. Yeah. How are you? And you have to unmute. Other meat is just enjoying her. That's good. Yes.
Yeah, I feel fine. I feel very calm.
Very calm. Yes,
Yeah.
that is good.
I was
That is
not calm this morning, and I told myself I have to be more conscious, more
yeah.
aware. Yeah, and because there are things important and less important things. At the end, most of the things are not that important to get upset.
Here is a good step,
But
because your intellect has started thinking what activities I need to take up and what activities I need to drop, what activities I need not to think at all. Do you see that? No,
Yeah.
all the in-depth psychological aspect also comes. Here I also want to add that we are going to learn in our future lessons. You see that when I say we are awake, awake means we wake up, right? So now if I use the word awake and aware, you are awake. So you are awake. So Sophie said that I dozed off. In that state of waking, I recognize that I dozed off. So that is your awareness. So what happens during the day, that we are going to take up in detail. We are awake but not aware. That is equal to dozing off. Do you see that? I believe we all have experience. I'm awake, I'm in a waking state, but still as if I'm sleeping to a particular event and a particular activity. We need to get rid of that in order to find the real self. How are you, John?
Hey, Girish. I'm fine. No distractions.
Very
No
good.
wandering mind. No fire station.
Oh, no.
We're fine.
Beautiful. Now you reflect on this, that how come no fire station, no wandering, no distraction, how come that state is achieved today? And why not it cannot be achieved every day in all the events? So that helps us to recognize the very nature and functioning of the mind. So it is not that the teacher knows more than the student. We all have the same constitution. We all are an individual. We have the same body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego. So this teaching simply means that Eastern wisdom makes you a teacher to yourself. Then you recognize, oh, here is the distraction. Mind, stop this. You are paying too much attention to Sophie, stop it. This is my professional activity. For example, I'm saying. So how are you, Mead? You enjoyed your session. You enjoyed my session.
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't fall asleep.
Very
But
good.
I went somewhere, but I
You
don't
went-
know where. I don't know where I went. But then I heard your voice and I came back. But I wasn't asleep. Where was I?
Yes. So that is, I think I picked up that issue, that physical mind through the sense organs. Then we have a subtle mind. I gave an example of sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Still subtler than that is the calmness and the quietness. So then what happens? We lose track of that calmness and quietness, and the mind either goes into visions and colors or some kind of a dream. But that is not actually the dream, because otherwise you do not know that you are awake.
Yes.
So it's a transition between not fully awake, not fully in dream. Then the past impression converts into some kind of a vision. So that happens, and that is how we recognize this journey. So we explore ourselves gradually. Oh, I was somewhere, I don't know where. And gradually you come to know it is because of this thought, because of this impurity. And that is how we evolve. That is all for today. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Namaste. We will meet again. next week.
Thank you.